everyone, and welcome to Backseat Sports. I'm Josh. That's Caleb.
Yeah,
and we're in the same room, back at it again in the same place. A little bit better setup this time than before. And we're talking Husker football. Obviously, a lot has gone down. We took a little bit of a Christmas break, a holiday seasons break. And we're back talking Husker football. What's going on, Caleb?
Oh, not much, We had a holiday season. We watched bowl games, and Nebraska wasn't in one.
That's right.
That sucked. So, yeah. But besides that, now we're at the college football playoff. The championship game is going to go down in like a week. A lot of stuff has gone down with Nebraska football. Obviously, recruiting and signing day has passed us as well. And a couple, I think, key things to start with. One, Maurice Washington is officially gone from the team. He has entered the transfer portal.
Yep.
We wish him the best of luck. He's also got all that court stuff and legal things to do. Clearly, there was other off-the-field issues, as the Nebraska said it wasn't about that. It was about something else.
Yeah.
Best luck to him. Hope he cleans up his act.
Right.
Whatever.
Obviously, it sucks. We would have definitely preferred having him on this team, but
For sure.
it wasn't going to work out. The other news, of course, that I'm sure most of you have heard by now, Javon DeWitt, the special teams coach and outside linebackers coach, was officially changing jobs. Not let go.
Yeah, not let go.
Changing jobs. He's heading to North Carolina to work there now.
Mac Brown.
I mean, yeah, Mac Brown's kind of rolling over there in North Carolina right now, but at the same time for Nebraska, I mean, this is only good news for Nebraska. At the end of the day, when you look at what he was overseeing, the special teams and outside linebacker spots, obviously that's where we needed the most help this year, and it was probably the worst course in our squad for most of the year. And they really didn't get better as the year went along, which is something, of course, you want to see. And special teams arguably got worse.
Almost worse. I mean, you think about the key Wisconsin and Iowa possessions there. 2 special teams touchdowns. Iowa hadn't scored a special teams touchdown in almost a decade.
Although they did it in the bowl game then. So that makes it
They did it twice.
Better.
So I guess, you can brush that off.
Right.
But
so we'll keep you guys updated on like when that role gets filled and who we potentially could be going after. We'll talk about that probably in an upcoming video about the offseason and everything else. But at the end of the day, we're talking about the Husker recruiting class finally. We got a little bit behind about it again. We were going to do this earlier, but holidays got in the way. So we're finally here talking about it. Nebraska finished with the 20th ranked recruiting class, which was really solid for where we were, 3 weeks ago at the beginning of December, or a month ago at the beginning of December. And it really came together. The early signing day was a big day for Nebraska, locking in a handful of 4 stars that we really needed.
Yeah, it's exciting. I was very worried, and Josh was concerned too, going into kind of that last recruiting season. We hadn't gotten a lot. We were really behind. We were scared that 5-7 season was really going to hinder a good recruiting class that Scott Frost had managed to be able to pull off thus far.
That really was the worry. Yeah.
And they delivered. The whole coaching staff delivered and got us a lot of really good recruits.
Yeah, 10 4-stars.
The last time we've had 10 4-stars since 2005 when Bill Callahan got here. So even a better recruiting class and more hype than when Scott Frost got here. So that's nice that even after 2 very rough seasons by anybody's standard, but Nebraska's especially, to have 2 really good recruiting classes is going to be fun. And we're going to dive into some of these guys. We're going to talk about some of their highlights. And
yeah, that's the thing. To put it in perspective off the rip, I mean, Nebraska's class finished 20th, which was the best in the Big Ten West, actually. Kind of the other teams that we're looking at there. I mean, Wisconsin finished at 25, Iowa was at 32nd, and Minnesota was at 35th. Nebraska kind of finished atop of the teams that we're really trying to compete against there. All Nebraska fans should be pretty happy with the class as a whole and how it came together. And we got the positions that we really needed immediately. We got the transfers there to help fill some holes. And I think we're going to break it down today from guys that we think have a chance to make an immediate impact, or guys who for sure will make an immediate impact. Then we're going to talk about some of the guys that have a chance to make an impact this year at some point, or play in some of the games because of the freshman rules.
So immediate impact, you obviously look at the JUCO guys first.
Yeah, of course.
Those are guys that are going to step in. Josh and I have talked about it as you can tell what the coaches think is the worst part of the team because they're going to get those JUCO guys.
Yeah.
And so Omar Manning was the big one.
Omar Manning.
The 4-star wide receiver. The number 1 JUCO wide receiver. Obviously, everybody was very happy. Scott Frost talked a lot about him. He's 6'4". He's huge. I mean, he's just a big physical presence. Have some great blocking ability as well. I'm sure as these highlights are rolling. He looks great. He looks like a good wide receiver. Yeah. And something that we need. We didn't have size at the wide receiver in Nebraska last year. It hurt us. Stoll was our biggest body to go to, and we and Nebraska has not been good about utilizing the tight end.
Right.
So it's almost a replacement for Stanley, it feels like.
Throughout last year, it was just a glaring, obvious need for Nebraska. Something that we needed so bad was that big receiver to control the middle of the field and to spread the field and really contrast J.D. Spielman and Wan'Dale Robinson. And finally, we have him, and it was such a big get for Nebraska. I don't think you really can't underestimate how important Omar Manning could be for Nebraska moving forward. Overall, I'm just incredibly excited to see what he can do. And I mean, all of Husker Nation should be excited to see what Omar Manning can bring to the table. He's definitely the highlight of the class for me.
Also, we should talk about the other wide receiver too, who I like just as much, almost even more than Omar Manning, to be honest. Is Zavier Betts.
Really?
I like him more. It's crazy. He's big, but Zavier Betts is big too. He's 6'2.5". He's fast, and I really like his footwork that we saw. Obviously, Omar Manning's going to be more physical, which is going to be really helpful.
Yeah.
Maybe be able to get up and get the ball more. But he looks like a guy who can be really versatile as well. And I think both are probably going to see the field.
I mean, the question is how much would Zavier Betts actually see the field? And that was kind of the debate with Wan'Dale Robinson moving into last year was, how much would he actually play? I mean, of course, the receiving core, there's going to be a lot of opportunity for guys. And that's why we have a lot of these guys listed as guys who have a chance to see the field. I mean, Zavier, he'll for sure play in 4 games. For sure.
I think.
But the question is whether or not he'll get the red shirt.
I think they'll both start. That'd be my 2 is they both probably start.
Omar Manning's a lock in to start. I mean, as a JUCO, he's going to start.
Yes, because he has to. Yeah. Again, just everything that I've seen from Betts, and I know that he's from Nebraska, and that might be saying, but he's also a 4-star wide receiver, and was our 3rd best recruit in the class too. Stanley was 6'2.5" as well, so that worked out pretty well. And just some of his footwork ability gets me pretty excited for him.
I do really like what he can bring to the table. I'm just not convinced we're gonna feel the need to have him on the field 24/7. It depends how we end up using Wan'Dale, and it seems like we're gonna end up using Wan'Dale in more of a receiving role than running back, and that's where I think he would probably rather be in the slot and getting those types of plays. That's why I'm not convinced that Zavier is gonna see the field more than 4 games, but 100% we're gonna be using him at some point throughout the year. That's why I'm excited about him. Another guy. Marcus Fleming was another 4-star wide receiver coming out who has a chance to see the field. A lot of speed. He looked real quick in the footage that we've seen in the highlights from his high school career.
He feels like a redshirt guy just because he's that 5'9.5". He's the same, he's the same height as kind of J.D. Spielman and Wan'Dale Robinson, and so to just give him a year probably get to know the system more, unless he's that good. But my guess would be that Marcus Fleming redshirts this season to get better.
Right. But again, there's still a chance we see him in the 4 games.
Yes, 100% though. Yeah, maybe in those 4 games.
I agree. I think it's a redshirt, but it depends how much we want to use him in that 4-game rule for freshmen. I think there's a chance he actually ends up seeing the field at least a decent amount in some of these games, maybe early on in the year. So
I mean, the depth is just going to be nice, I think, for him too. So
that's the biggest question is if you use him early, like. When it comes to receiving core, we kind of need that depth with these young guys. So, maybe you don't use them early in the games because you want to save them for the end of the year in case there are injuries.
Yeah.
So, in a world where you lose, knock on wood, if you lose, Jalen for the year, knock on wood, Wan'Dale Robinson, I mean, that's where these guys are going to have to see the field. So, that's the biggest question for me. I'm definitely excited about Marcus Fleming, though, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think he can bring a lot to the program moving forward.
Talk about an underrated guy. Logan Smothers is the most not talked about 4-star quarterback in Nebraska history. Every 4-star that has ever come to Nebraska has been hyped out of their mind. I mean, Tyrin Martinez was a 3-star. Gebbia was a 4-star. Bubba Starling was a 4-star. And they walked on water before they ever stepped on the field in Nebraska. And Logan Smothers has been nothing but hush, obviously, because we have the hype of Luke McCaffrey and the quarterback war that is going to be going on.
Yeah.
But who knows about this kid? He looks nice. He's a dual threat quarterback. It's the system that Scott Frost wants. Another guy that could be really exciting. I mean, who knows this offseason?
Right. I mean, logically, he'll probably redshirt.
Yeah, it makes sense to redshirt.
I mean, basically, in any scenario, he's going to redshirt.
Maybe that's why the hype's down. But who knows yet? I mean,
at the same time, though, I mean, you never know with how the quarterback room is right now. Anything's possible. I'm not going to rule it out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you'd have to expect that either Martinez or Luke McCaffrey is going to have the starting job. It's not going to be Logan Smothers.
Who knows? Smothers could steal the backup job from
Again, I'm not ruling it out, but at the same time, it would be shocking if that was the case. So
I'm excited about him, though. He made some nice throws. He's fast. Just as fast, if not faster.
I guess the most logical case where he would actually see the field is in a scenario where like Adrian Martinez loses the job, then transfers, and then
he's backup. Yeah,
then he's the backup in that case, or the third string in that case, and so maybe you know.
I guess
you save him in that aspect, but yeah. So I mean, that's probably why the hype is down. But at the same time, like he's a talented player.
He's a good get. Like Nebraska.
He's a good get, and Nebraska fans should definitely know his name. Be excited about him because he could be a guy that could be our starting quarterback in the future. So
yeah,
you have to be excited about that type of guy.
Now the running back room, obviously, as we mentioned it earlier, Maurice Washington not returning, and the whole Wan'Dale thing. Where are we going to put him? Probably more in that wide receiver role. We're going to need guys at running back. You know, we have Dedrick Mills for next year, but you can't just use one running back the whole time,
obviously,
or else they're going to get injured.
Of course, we have the group of young guys that were redshirting last year. They're going to be coming up.
That's true. Rahmir Johnson.
And company. So, I mean, those guys are going to be seen in the field for sure. But, I mean, at the same time, like, there is definitely opportunity.
There's lots of opportunity.
Lots of opportunity for Sevion Morrison to take a step forward in this group. And, you know, he was kind of a fringe 3-star, 4-star on, like, 24/7 and Rivals and ended up being a 4-star. We've seen a lot of hype about him. Most of Husker Nation's been pretty excited about him and seen his footage and his tape. But, I mean, he looks fast.
Really
That's
fast.
The first thing that pops out to you when you're watching his tape. That first step and his ability to hit the gap and really explode through the hole is pretty impressive.
That don't look like they're there, but he's just that fast.
So that happened a handful of times throughout the highlight reels, and so it looked like he has a motor that doesn't really stop. And so you get pretty excited when watching that tape. You see the potential that he could have there.
Keeps his feet under him.
I'm definitely excited about him as a player, and I wouldn't be surprised if he would not redshirt, but at the same time, like I think it makes sense to redshirt him. So
probably a 4-game rule type deal. We'll see him in 4 games, I'm sure, this year. But
I completely agree. I think we see him in 4 games, but I'd be surprised if he doesn't redshirt.
And then that also leaves Marvin Scott III, a 3-star running back from Florida as well.
Yeah.
You know, Sevion kind of has the hype, but we never know. Rex Burkhead was a 3-star running back too at one point in time. So you never know. It's work ethic and everything else. And at the end of the day, we're only going to probably remember 5 of these 25 guys at Nebraska.
It's kind of the odds.
That's just kind of the way it is for recruiting classes.
Yeah. I mean, Marvin Scott's a guy you'd expect to redshirt. I mean, this is 100% a guy you'd expect to redshirt. Maybe you see him, maybe you don't. It's kind of a toss-up at this point. At the same time, it's just a guy that you need to have on your radar for the future again. But don't expect too much like in 2020 from Marvin Scott.
Well, now that we've talked about some of the offensive highlights, now it's on to the defense, and we talked about JUCO and stuff we need right away. And so there's 2 defensive JUCO guys.
Yeah.
We'll start with Pheldarious Payne, the JUCO defensive
I don't know if you can have a better name than that.
It's a perfect defensive end name. It's perfect.
It really is.
I hope he's great just so I can say his name a lot this
Literally.
year.
Oh my goodness. But I mean, in tape, in footage, he looks pretty solid. He's a pretty big dude. Looks pretty quick for a D end. I think he has a lot of potential. It'll be interesting to see how he fits into this defense. See, the theme with this recruiting class for Scott Frost was obviously speed. And you see that all across the board at almost every single position. Speed was kind of the narrative throughout. And Pheldarious Payne seems to be pretty explosive, very quick first step off the line. I like a lot of what he can do. I'm excited to see what type of contribution he can make this year. There's definitely opportunity there with Stilley and then on the other side, and there's room to make an impact for Pheldarious.
We lost a lot of seniors, so
yeah, exactly. So
we'll see how he does with the defensive end, just with lateral movement and stopping the run kind of on the outside. But he could finish tackles really well from the tape. He really didn't give up on the play, and he looked like he was working hard. So that's all things that you want. The other JUCO, Eteva Mauga Clements, an outside linebacker.
Yeah.
We need those bad. We need those bad.
That's an understatement. Oh my goodness. The JUCO transfers are all, like we said, you can tell where the coaching staff knows we need help. Outside linebacker. And so hopefully Mauga Clements can make an impact right away. I mean, we need him to. We hope this guy's a beast. I mean, at the end of the day, it's what we need desperately. And again, I was pretty excited about what I saw on tape. I thought he had really good instincts. But no, he looked explosive. He hit the gap hard. He's a little bit undersized, which is definitely the worry with this guy.
Yes, he was shedded for tackles a couple times, even kind of on his highlights. He was in on the play, and he knew what was going on a lot of time, which is something to be said for linebackers.
Yeah.
Especially ours. So if he knows what's going on, it's going to be a big help. But just finishing tackles will be a big thing for him, and he is a little small.
Yeah, I was really excited about his instincts. I think when I watched him, I'm like, man, that was great. He read that perfectly. Like I said that so many times while watching his film. So he's the type of guy that
he's fast too.
I think he can get on the field, and if his instincts hit home, he could be a good player. But again, man, these are types of guys that we just need to see him in practice. We need to see him in the spring game, see how they fit into the team. and then you can really make some pretty good judgments on how they're going to make an impact on the rosters. Again, excited.
Yeah, he's excited. Yeah,
that type of guy.
And lastly, another outside linebacker is Keyshawn Green. He was a 4-star as well. He has a good chance of seeing field too right away as a freshman, which is probably not the case for some of our the secondary guys that we got. But but Keyshawn Green, he's strong. He looks big. He's fast. He had great timing on delayed blitzes. That was really his whole highlights. Timing snaps perfectly.
So many delayed blitzes. Oh my goodness. Every single highlight was like a delayed blitz.
Yeah, or him timing the snap just right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not convinced. I'm definitely not convinced that he's going to like...
There's definitely growth that needs to happen on him, for sure.
I would assume he'll redshirt. With that said, I think there's a chance we see him in those 4 games, and he maybe makes an impact in those 4 games. So that's why we have him in this category. Obviously, it's pretty rare for like outside linebackers as freshmen to really make an impact, because generally there's just a physical difference that you need to kind of get accustomed to through time. Just because we're so weak at outside linebacker, there's a chance that he could really see the field early on. So
lastly, some guys that we might see for the 4 games are Henry Gray and Jaiden Francois. They're each 4-star safeties. They look nice. Again, they're gonna need time, but we're excited about them.
Again, they're definitely gonna redshirt, but like there's in a world where maybe there's a chance they could get out in the field in like those 4-game situations, but I wouldn't expect any type of actual major contribution from those guys.
Yeah,
I'm really excited about them. I think they're really, really fun prospects that looked good on tape, and they're guys that we need. So overall, I think they're the future of the secondary. But again, we're probably not going to see him in 2020. One other wide receiver that I think, we'll see what we can get from him is Alante Brown. He's another 4-star. I mean, the receiving group from this class is really exciting. I mean,
we needed it.
It's exactly what we needed. Alante Brown's a guy that I think has a chance to see the field again. Okay, well,
everybody has a fair shake to get on the field.
There's a fair chance that you could see the field, and there's a chance he could contribute pretty early on.
And lastly, we have Turner Corcoran, our highest rated guy out of our whole recruiting class.
Oh yeah, I mean he's recruited by literally everyone.
And he was very exciting to get. With an offensive tackle, though, I mean he's big. He's 6'6", 280. He's only going to get bigger when he comes to Nebraska.
Right.
But he's most definitely probably a guy that's going to redshirt.
Yeah.
Almost always offensive linemen do. We don't want to have a situation like we had last year where we're putting in people that should not be playing at offensive linemen, but we literally were just so depleted that they had to be.
Literally.
They needed more time. So I think Scott Frost is probably going to redshirt him. Granted, we're very excited for him.
The coaching staff was pumped about him.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't be more excited.
Right.
We need offensive linemen very bad.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's a great one.
We're not going to see him in 2020.
Yeah, we'd love to see him redshirt, get bigger, learn the system, and just be a stud for us for the next few years.
Yeah, for sure. But, I mean, obviously there's so many more guys we could talk about. I mean, if we talked about every single one, we'd be here for literally forever. But, again, I mean, if any of these guys end up making news or making the roster throughout the offseason or making noise, we're going to talk about them.
Yes.
But we wanted to highlight the guys who have the biggest chance to make an impact right off the rip in this video. So drop all of your comments down below about what you guys think about this recruiting class. Who are you guys most excited about?
Yeah, exactly.
And who you want to see the most. Hopefully a lot of these guys can get into the program and then compete in the spring game. That's the biggest thing is what we didn't really get to see very many of the freshmen last year in the spring game. So hopefully a lot of these guys can get on campus and can be here for the spring game because that's
get in the weight room.
Get in the weight room and not have a Maurice Washington situation. So
yes, I mean
that's the biggest thing.
Get in here, stay out of trouble, and play football.
Please, for the love of all things. Oh my goodness.
Don't be a knucklehead. Like we said, most Nebraska fans are only going to remember about 5 of these guys. So I hope that's motivation for them to work really hard
and be the outlier.
Because you can be a 4-star walking in, but there's so many 4-stars that we don't remember. That we were looking back at past recruiting classes and be like, oh yeah, you were supposed to be something but weren't.
Yeah.
So I think one of the Nebraska football players tweeted, "Don't let the signing day be the greatest moment in your sporting career."
So true.
Because it's going to take a lot of hard work and dedication after the fact to be a great football player at Nebraska.
Yeah, 100%. So anyway, guys. Again, drop all your comments down below. We really, really appreciate the support. And as always, guys, I'm Josh. That's Caleb. This has been Backseat Sports, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
See ya.